Can I have a popsicle?
No, honey, you'll spoil your...
Hey parents, tired of those out-of-control kids? Throwing embarrassing tantrums wherever they go. At the grocery store, on the playground, even at the dinner table. You've had it with parenting, but wait, there is a solution. Introducing Nap Time, the latest, most effective tool for child tantrum prevention. It's simple. Just douse a rag with our patented Sleepy Time formula, place it over your child's cry hole, press and hold gently for 8 to 12 seconds, and presto, no more tantrum.
I was beginning to think adoption was the only way out. Then a friend of mine introduced me to Nap Time. It's never been so quiet around here.
The secret lies in Nap Time's revolutionary fast-to-sleep formula. Developed by military-trained scientist doctors from NASA, Nap Time's powerful molecules rush to the child's brain on contact, gently inducing instant tranquility.
This is chloroform.
Already put those wallet-draining crap factories out on the street? That's okay! Nap Time works in any situation. On the golf course. An awkward blind date.
I had a really good time tonight.
It even works on pets.
After we had our first child here, we regretted it almost immediately.
We didn't know that she'd cry so much.
Talk about defective. But thanks to Nap Time, our little Samantha here hasn't made a noise in weeks. I keep her in a shoebox.
Call now and we'll send you your very own 24-ounce bottle of Nap Time solution for only 23 easy payments of $1.99. But wait, there's more. Act quickly and you'll also receive the all-new Dream Sack absolutely free. It's compact and portable for those on-the-go tantrums. Just cover it, tighten it, and forget about it. It's that simple.
We can't breathe good.
So if this looks familiar...
I feel pregnant.
Then don't wait! Order today and join the millions of Americans who just can't stop saying...
Thanks, Nap Time.
Thanks, Nap Time.
Thanks, Nap Time.
Nap Time! When they just won't shut up. Nap Time is not legal in the following states.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's yet another episode of Rogan Radio live from the friendly confines of Studio A here on the luxurious campus of Casa La Rogan Lumberport. Tonight we have a full house, as you can tell. And we're going to have some very interesting conversation. First of all, we're going to find out how L.A. is. Second of all, we're going to find out why Darren can never keep his microphone on the table. What happened there? Oh, you can't.
One of those little stands.
No, he sprayed those take a nap spray.
Nap time?
Nap time spray.
Yeah, as in, put that. Can you not put that thing up there? He did a Janet Jackson and it had an equipment malfunction. We have a very special guest in the studio tonight. Back from her trip to California, we have Megan. Everybody say hello to Megan.
Hey,
oh.
Hey guys, I'll say hi to you.
Hey, Megan.
Oh, yeah.
Megan.
All I see is
very
work for me
excited.
after the show, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Somehow things just happen to fall into Megan's lap. I mean, it's just like one day you're on top of the world, the next day you can get a flat tire somehow.
Comes back 2 days later with hasn't even been driving for 48 hours and has a flat tire for no reason.
No
No
reason.
reason. I don't know how I got it.
At their age, it's never any reason.
I like Mike Eusted's comment. He goes, a guy in a toboggan and a guy in a sleeveless. I never know if it's hot or cold in the studio.
It's always hot in here.
Hey, where's Todd?
Todd is off again this week. His chest cold is up, and then Yoda, one of their dogs, died. So they're taking care of that.
Is he
tonight.
getting better? Do you guys know?
You know what? I don't know. I never talked to Todd anymore.
The dog? I don't think so. No.
Yeah. We also have Ryan Faber. Ryan, this is your first time. You've been a long-time listener, and you're finally in the studios.
Yep, finally.
We've been talking about it for a long time. And so what? I mean, it's just like when you watch it on the internet, like you said, it seems a lot smaller than what it in actuality.
It does.
What it
The
is.
building seems a lot smaller online.
We have these. It must be the widescreen cameras and stuff. Everything
Maybe.
around. Also, down on the very edge, on the opposite side of D, who's the director, of course, we have the marketing director. Is that what I gave you? The marketing director. We have the marketing director, Erica. She's not. Can you not hear? Oh yeah, Ryan, can you turn that number 1 pod up there? Yeah, I forgot to do. Oh, probably all the. Let's try something out, Erica.
Hello.
Yeah, you sound. Wait a minute. Try it one more time.
Okay,
Perfect.
that's perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect. So we're going to have some things to talk about tonight. One of these things are the marches going around the United States, which is not necessarily a bad thing. That's pretty cool. You've heard about Cambria Analytica. Have you heard about this with Facebook? And there's something with Trump, and then the whole they say they took everybody's information off of Facebook with meta tags, and then all of a sudden they did these ads, and somehow that swayed the election. Well, surprisingly enough, you're going to find out that years ago, if you didn't know this, there was this big rumor going around that if you had Facebook on your phone, that it was listening to your conversations and reading your texts. And Facebook came back and said, no, we are not doing that. Come to find out, well, guess what? They're kind of doing that. And we're going to tell you exactly how you can see what Facebook watches on you by going to their own Facebook page there on your. I can't do it on the browser. I think you have to do it on the PC. You go into settings, whatnot, and you can download your personal data, and it'll show you who you've called, how long you've talked to them, what time it was, as long as text messages also. And they use that because you have to give permission. This is more specifically towards Android, but you have to give permissions. Like when you put an app on the phone, it'll ask you if you want to. Apple, I don't think it's that much. On Android, you most definitely do. And before, you had to, if you wanted to do Facebook videos per se, you had to give it access to the microphone. Mm-hmm. Okay, if you didn't give it access to the microphone, that was their deal. If you don't have access to the microphone, you don't give us that access, you can't make videos because we can't hear you talk. Well, not only for videos, but also but also when in your phone conversations, and they say they were using it just for marketing, for ads and things like that. So we're going to tell you how to look for that.
You could have did that opening any week we start. You could do that opening. Like there's something about Trump, something about protests and Facebook. Dude, that's like every week.
Yeah. Well, tonight on 60 Minutes, which starts right now. Actually, it started right now. 60 Minutes.
How long is that?
Huh?
How long is the show?
60 minutes. Which started at 7. So, but anyway, there's this big Stormy Daniels controversy, and the thing that I to not be so rude about it. There's a lot of controversy now with Trump and this Stormy Daniels. She has this explosive interview because she's a porn star and she had a relationship with him, and this playgirl or playboy model came out and said the same thing. I'm thinking, listen, for this guy being such a loser in so many people's eyes, you know what? He's picking up some pretty hot chicks. I mean, he really is.
The bad
No
part-
reaction.
Okay.
Everybody's afraid.
Money gets you a lot.
Well, if he's being involved in all those pageant and all that stuff,
Yeah.
he's a big sponsor, I guess. So he's
Yeah.
got all the access
Oh, yeah.
to the
That's what I'm
backstage
saying.
things.
He's a power
I mean,
player.
Well, the thing of it is, this happened like, what, 12 years ago?
Something like that.
Something
I
like
don't-
that.
It doesn't even matter.
Okay, so what's so different nowadays about a president that has had a, let's just say, colorful past with the ladies now compared to 50 years ago?
I mean, it seems like it's always been there. You know, it happens in everyday life. So, go ahead.
Or in the Oval Office.
Well,
Yeah, that wasn't that long ago.
I
that
mean,
wasn't even 50 years ago.
Everybody knew what they were getting, though. You got this billionaire guy that has power.
Yeah.
We know that there's a lot of gold diggers out there. You know that when you vote him in, you're going to get that stuff. I
Right.
mean, it's not like he was some...
It's not like he did it in the oral office, like Darren said.
And he's not denying it. He's like, yeah, you know.
Nobody
all
even
right, money.
got that.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah.
Hello, Pam. What's up, Pam Favor? Robert, Bob Ash is on there. What's happening? Hello, Betty. Judy Hall, all the way down from Webster. We also, speaking of Judy, we're also going to talk about this thing. We're going to talk about assault weapons. Okay, we actually got one today. We picked it up down at Ace Hardware in Shinston. Did you know they sell
Any
assault
weapon
weapons
can
down
be
there?
assault.
Yes.
Did you realize that they actually sell assault weapons down at the Ace Hardware in Shinston?
I had
They have
heard
hammers,
that.
right? Saws.
Listen, it's a salt weapon. You put salt in this
Look at
thing.
that
Look at this thing.
Bug of salt.
It's bug of salt. You actually put salt in this thing, and you go after flies and
Dude, are
stink.
there flies humping?
I think they are. On
You
the
know,
box
it
there.
could be, but what you
One
do?
pump and it's over.
Listen, man, there's 50 shots in this thing, and then too bad we don't have any flies out here. But what you basically do is you pour table salt in there. You you charge the thing.
Chuck,
Well, what is it? Yeah.
Everything
You charge
can
the
be
thing.
I
against you,
noticed
Chuck.
the
Hold on.
direction. It said for adults only.
Oh,
So in
Chad,
other words-
happy Easter.
Actually, I was going to say give it to Erica because she's more
I
of
have
an
a
adult
question,
than you are.
yeah.
Yeah.
Does it work on sisters?
Hey. Yeah, I'll take you
She meant
and Mia
Mia.
out
She
with
meant
it.
Mia.
But
Right.
but I
I'm
love
the favorite.
No,
but-
I meant both of them.
But I love the warnings on things now because it says the biggest warning is right here. It says do not shoot in the face. What's else it says? Shoot in the face or the eyes. Like you have to actually write that. But we are in the Tide Pod generation.
Yeah.
The time generation.
Oh, now it's the off bug spray.
Yeah.
Smoking
Yeah.
off bug spray.
What's up,
Yeah.
Jay?
They're smoking. Yeah, they're smoking that bug spray to get high.
You know what,
Oh,
Darwin?
We,
I mean,
we got to pay attention.
it trashes
Be
them.
good because our supervisor's watching again.
Dang it, Gretchen G Money is on. We're going to also we're going to figure out about what's going on still with the CWA strike and Frontier. We have D-Mac who hasn't been here for a few weeks because he actually works. He's in the CWA but he actually works for Frontier. We're going to call him up and see if there's any progress.
Well, technically, right now he's not working for Frontier.
Yeah, he's waiting to go back to work. Yeah.
There's a hot coil challenge starting where kids let their electric stoves heat up and see who can hold their forearm on it.
Oh, that's
Who
just
would-
stupid.
Listen,
That's what the cool
And
kids are
this
doing.
is the
man.
next generation
I'll
of
tell you what.
voters.
Let me
Yeah.
tell you something. I have a great challenge. We're going to lay it down right now to this young generation that they can eat Tide Pods and put their arms on like hot burners on the stove. My challenge is to get off the parents' tits and then go out and get a job and then let us be on yours.
Nah, that's not going
I
to
got
happen.
a better one, Russian roulette.
I already have a job.
Okay, I thought that would be pretty good. I thought that was a good one.
I mean, it's a good idea.
It's
Well,
good
you
concept.
yeah, it's a good concept, but you know these kids nowadays.
They have to be accountable for their actions.
We're also going to talk about Wonder Woman. Have you seen the movie Wonder Woman? You guys seen that? Have you watched that movie? Anybody?
I happen
I
to have
am.
watched
I saw
it
it
just
like last
recently.
year.
Here's
Yeah,
the
we
thing.
did. I know we did,
People
and it
actually
was
watch
great.
the movie, or people just keep staring at her.
Yeah,
I mean,
she is very.
yeah, I
Same
mean,
thing,
that's-
isn't it?
You know what? I didn't know because when I listened to her on Wonder Woman, whatever her Gold Cabot or whatever her name is, she's actually
Yeah, I don't know
Israeli.
what her name is. Yeah,
She's
she's
yeah, I didn't know that. I thought she'd be like from Eastern.
That's
Europe.
why they were boycotting that movie.
Really? In the
certain
Middle East or something
countries.
like that?
Yeah,
Okay, well,
stupid.
you know what? I want to say hi to Donnie Stonebreaker. Once again, Donnie, we all have the pins from Waltz down there in Shinston. He was, when I went down there to get a tire worked on, he gave us some pins. And he told me he'd crap his pants if he actually saw the pins on the show. And we use
Yeah,
these
they're
things.
all over the place.
Yeah, they absolutely are. So, Megan, you're first on the block. Because we talked about this last time you were in. You're a West Virginia girl that went out to L.A. Now, I've always heard things about L.A. I heard that what you see on TV isn't necessarily what L.A. is about. It's a little bit more dirty, sort of, kind of, and then like you see Ventura Boulevard and all that stuff, which is really nice, and that's all you see, the palm trees and the Ferraris and the Bugattis and all that kind of stuff, but you don't really actually see what L.A. is. Tell us about your experience.
All right.
Okay, great. That was a fantastic trip.
No, well, we started the first 3 days at the beach. So we did Hermosa Beach and Redondo Beach, and those were very, very nice areas. But on the Monday that we went to LA, and we stayed right on the Walk of Fame. So there were a lot of homeless people. I love New York City, and I've been there like a lot, but LA is like the dirtier version of New York almost. There's a lot of homeless people, a lot of drugs. Sorry, Nammy and Pap, because I know you're listening and you're going to have a heart attack. But we had to call LAPD here last night, so I was definitely ready to come home.
It sounds like you just went down the street and stayed in Clarksburg, actually.
Right. Yeah, that's what I felt like, actually. But more homeless people. I think there was a little bit more homeless people because it's a little bit farther of a walk.
Let me ask you this question when it comes to, there are reasons why people are homeless, and we can get into that. I mean, sometimes they just are down on their luck, and then sometimes they're mentally messed up, whatever it might be. But if you're going to be homeless, L.A. would be a great place to be homeless because the weather's nice. You know what I mean?
It wasn't nice when we were there, but yes.
You know what I mean? For the most part.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised when Michelle and I went down to Daytona, how many people just live without homes. But I'm thinking, if I'm on the beach, who cares, man? We saw one guy, a homeless dude down there, he was down there fighting seagulls. And actually, he was shooting seagulls with his gun, his finger gun, and then he was playing Karate Kid out in the ocean surf. It was great. I was like, I want to be that guy. Why do people feel sorry for that guy?
Speaking of Karate Kid, I just saw the
new trailer for Cobra Kai.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Dude.
Chuck's gonna.
It is that retro, goofy ass movie. Just like
looks
Karate.
Good.
I want to see it so bad.
Yeah. So what you're saying, Megan, is that Pretty Woman really couldn't happen. The movie.
Oh no, I married one.
Fake, right?
Oh, you're talking about some kind of a movie.
Yeah,
movie.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it was nice, and we went to a lot of high-end bars and restaurants. But like, just to go, I mean, 4 days was enough. It was, honestly. Like, I really did like it, and I can stay in New York City for 5 to 6 days, but when it comes to LA, I was ready to come home. But guys actually followed us into our apartment because we were staying at like an Airbnb, and someone followed us. These guys followed us into where, and we had to have like 2 different keys to get in, and we don't know if they were staying there, if somebody had let them in, but they were like banging on our door and saying, we know you're in there, we know you're girls, like come out, we need you, like just banging on the door. And we were, we were drinking that night, so we were like,
maybe it was on your head.
Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't in my head, but we had to call LAPD, and 20 cops showed up with a chopper. It was crazy. They don't mess around down there, at least. I mean, they did take the guys out.
Comes in.
See, that's when when you hear about when I hear about cops and choppers. See, first thing I think John and Ponch. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of that. Absolutely thinking of that. That's fantastic.
But besides that, it was a good trip.
You had a good time there.
Yeah, it was a blast. I had a blast. I would definitely go back, but after those 6 days there, however long I was there, I was ready to come home. I was definitely ready to come home. That's probably my least favorite place that I have visited. And I've traveled a lot and been a lot of places, but that's probably my least favorite.
You haven't been to Detroit yet.
Hey, Bob.
Well, I don't think I'd go. I don't have any interest to go there. So.
Bob was went to LA a few years ago. Bob, is that when you got caught in the elevator naked? Just asking. Asking for a friend. Because he has a fantastic story where he got locked out of his room and somehow he had to go down to the lobby. But I'm not sure if that was L.A. or Boston. I think for some reason that was L.A.
He said, I spent $2,000 on food and drinks. Well, we didn't have to pay when we were in L.A. We actually had met a promoter, and he paid for all of our food and drinks. So sorry that you had to pay, but we didn't. We got three days of free food and drinks. Like, we just got our own bottles handed to us.
I'm the same way. Once I visit my parents.
You get free drinks all the time from the guys?
Free food, free stay, free drink. Anything.
Man,
yeah,
that's good. What's up, Wayne Worth? Wayne said this sounds like a conversation on the backside of the Today Show. Awkward science.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I feel bad for mom and my grandparents because one child just came back and two of their children are leaving.
Erica and Mia, they're heading down to Disney, the Magic Kingdom, right?
All of them, all the kingdoms.
How
All
many
the
kingdoms?
kingdoms.
How many kingdoms are there?
There's more than just the Magic Kingdom. There's like Animal Kingdom, Epcot,
That's true.
Hollywood Studios.
She's got you there.
Right.
We're going down there
We
for
can
7 days. We're not going to visit one kingdom for 7
yeah.
days.
We consider going to
park.
Disneyland, but the weather was just so crappy. They had like a storm, it was like one of the biggest.
Yeah, rainy season. Right?
Yeah, well, it wasn't raining season. We're going through this huge storm, so there was like mudslides. Mom texted me freaking out because it was like flooding, and she was like, "Is that where you are?" And we were fine.
So you're,
Even
like,
though
in
we
the
had a
mud.
10-hour flight delay, that was rough. But
Oh, did you experience the earthquake by any chance?
no.
Oh,
No, thank God. We did not experience any just a lot of rain. We were soaked. We did the Hollywood sign in the rain. We saw the Hollywood sign in the rain, and then we went to Rodeo Drive, which is where all the
That's where Pretty
fancy
Woman
stores are. Well, there was a 16-year-old getting out of a brand new Porsche with the doors.
You were
that come-
jealous.
Oh yeah, I was like, he's not even old enough to drive, and here he is. Where you're not even allowed to like walk, because like the Michael Kors and the Louis Vuitton here and stuff like that, you're allowed to walk in, but you can't even walk in there. Like they literally have security guards placed out of every single like high-end store. Like Burberry, they had security guards, and if you didn't look, I mean, obviously we had leggings on because we just hiked the Hollywood sign, but if you didn't look like you were high class, you were not allowed in there.
That's so discriminatory.
So Ryan,
I know.
Ryan, when you go to LA, just don't wear leggings.
All right,
Yeah, don't
I'll
wear
write. I'll make a
leggings.
note
Look
of
like
that.
you're
Yeah,
high
please
class.
I would do
that.
that on purpose. If I had like millions of dollars, I would walk just all scubby.
But then you can't.
Oh, then you couldn't
And
go
I'd be
in. They
like-
wouldn't
and
let
then
you
I'd
in.
show them a
Vuitton.
suitcase of money and be like, "Pfft, what? And they'd be like, I don't want to come in anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I was
That's
mad
where
that I
you
everything
turn
in there.
around. That's where you turn around and do the Pretty Woman thing.
Yeah.
You go
I was
someplace
going to
else.
buy everything in here, but
Whatever.
I didn't see the Kardashians, and that's what I was
shit,
mad
Derek.
about.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give D-Mac a call here very, very shortly. Figure out what's going on with the latest at CWA and the Frontier deal. Right now, what you need to do is throw us some emoji. We're going to give you shout-outs. Like AJ. What's up, AJ?
eat shit, Derek. That's a shout out to Derek.
Shout out to Derek. I love that, too, by the way. Bruce Takahashi's on. He's here
Hey,
tonight.
Bruce, how you doing out there?
Hey, once again, want to remind you, there's a big Duggar dance happening down in Buchanan. That's April 28th. Go ahead and hit Duggar Music up on the Facebook. You'll see all the details on that. It's going to be a fantastic time, as it always is. Once again, Buchanan. That's coming down on April 28th, buddy. And then want to also give a shout out to KDS Primitive Sign Shirts and More out of Fairmont, 304-366-1234 for all of our international friends. If you want any kind of Rogan Radio apparel, or if you would like to have anything made on your own, go ahead and give them a call. Denise and Steve over there at KDS Primitive Sign Shirts and More out of Fairmont, West Virginia, 304-366-1234. We're just going ahead and this is like a little break here. We also have a new segment that we started last week. It's called Thoughts with Chad Puccio. Puccio. So get ready for that. Tonight the topic's going to be, what's going to topic? Bikers. Tonight's going to be the topic of conversation, bikers, and that's going to be, you know what, you want to do that next? Thoughts with Chad Puccio? Because that's the new one, and it's normally pretty heartfelt. It's pretty thought out, and it's going to happen every week. And once again, we want to remind you, if you have anything that you would like Chad to kind of talk about, or maybe perhaps, kind of investigate, get into it a little bit more, send us a text, 681-222-7646. Who called Todd? 681-222-7646, and or send us something or rather on the Facebook, or if you're on YouTube, go ahead and you can do that also. We'll also
Hey, Cuddles just signed in.
Mark
Mom's
Coffee.
cheating on you.
Who's with Cuddles?
Yeah.
Mark's mom, Mark and Mike, we hope your mom gets better soon, and then hope... Give me back my wife, Cuddles! Cuddles hasn't been up here for a while. He's been working late or nights, and then all of a sudden his mom had heart surgery, wasn't it, Michelle? Yeah, it was heart surgery up there in Morgantown a couple days ago, and everything worked out good. What's up, TJ?
Mom is cheering us on from the sidelines.
TJ says, Ryan, he said, Ryan isn't talking much. Tell some dick jokes that'll loosen him up. He loves dick jokes.
Yeah, that's my buddy TJ. He's over toward St. Mary's area.
Yeah.
Over out west.
Tell us a dick joke.
Out west. Like it's far.
Yeah, it's all the way out. Is St. Mary's near L.A.?
Yeah, it's almost. I think you can get to L.A. on the same street.
What's up, Carol? I see Carol on here also. Tell us a joke. What do you guys talk about, like when you do that? I mean, what's one of the things when you and the boys get together? Can you say?
They're looking at the effects on the screen.
Oh, see, I can't see the effects. Darren,
You'll see him here in a minute.
The director is over there, and he normally he likes to play a little bit. And then what's funny is we can't see it. Go ahead, get the long shot down there, Darren. Get the long shot. Yeah, go ahead. And this is what, see, I'm just looking at this little computer screen here. And then what you'll see, though, you'll see this long shot. And you can see where Darren, he kind of puts up that TV there as he's directing all the cameras and the sound and everything else. He does that so nobody else can see what's going on, so he can put, like, whatever it might be over us. Or, yeah, there's the long shot. Everybody say hello down there to the long shot.
There's a little delay there.
Yeah, there's like a 10-second delay, I think. Anyway, we came up with this segment last week. And it turned out to be pretty good. People in the Bavaria, they really enjoyed this.
Malaria?
Bavaria.
Bolivia?
Oh, I don't want to get that wrong. Is it
You
Bolivia?
don't even know where you're at.
Is it Bolivia or
South
Bavaria?
America?
Yeah.
It's Bolivia.
Bolivia, okay.
Yeah.
Because that was last week. By the way, we want to say hello to all of our friends in Ottawa, Canada.
Were you thinking Belarus, not Bavaria?
Yeah, that was the hot spot last week.
Yeah, it was the hot spot. Ottawa last week. I was telling Ryan last night at the Shop and Save that last week we want to really thank everybody in namely Canada, New Zealand, and Australia, along with everybody in the United States. But Ottawa, Canada was the big hot spot for Rogan Radio last week, and we want to give you a big round of applause just for listening to the podcast. And make sure if you listen on iTunes, Stitcher,
hey, Wayne Worth just come on and said, I want to see a Von Haggerty emoji.
Listen,
hey,
listen,
challenge accepted. I'll find one.
Call Wayne Worth up. We're going to call Wayne right now is what we're going to do. We haven't talked to Wayne for a long time. We haven't got him. We're going to have our 100th episode coming up here very shortly. We're going to get to this. And we're going to, but we're going to have everybody in here. Hopefully, we'll get Brian Morton in here. We'll get Duggar in here. We'll get Wayne Worth in here. We'll get everybody in here, and
now,
we'll have
Listen, if I'm not mistaken, we're not going to have a show next week. Correct?
Next week is Easter, so
right.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm glad you said that. Next week is Easter.
Happy early Easter, everyone.
Yeah, I won't be here anyway.
Where are you going to be?
I'll be flying out of state.
What? Yep. Where are you going, Bruce?
I'm going to South Carolina.
Where are you going?
Myrtle Beach.
Are you going to Myrtle Beach next week?
Myrtle
Beach. Dang.
Everyone's going out of town for Easter.
I know.
What did we take? Oyster shooters at Myrtle Beach for my first time?
For your 21st birthday?
Yeah.
We're calling Wayne Worth right now.
Do some
hopefully.
oyster shooters while you're down there.
We'll
Don't do them with tequila.
Yeah. And we found balloons in a trash bag after all that. We put them on our head, too.
That was my 21st. That was good.
Okay. Sorry, Wayne.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Wayne, there he is. Wayne Worth, what's going on, baby?
Oh, nothing much. Nothing much. I had a little time to watch the show, so.
Well, listen, I know because you're a pretty busy guy, and you're still. How many more counties do you have left? With the 50?
With the historical video series On the Road, we have about I think seven counties left to film in, and I have probably maybe 6 counties left to edit. So we should have that done by the end of May.
Awesome.
The big drug awareness walks that we're doing with the Neighbors in Action thing. I mean, we've only done 4 counties so far, but so we have 51 to go. That'll take us about 3 more years to do.
Now,
so
when you guys were up in Preston County, was it just namely Kingwood?
Yeah, it was Kingwood. Yeah, we went door to door up there. We were handed out information to folks and where they could get their loved ones help that are struggling with drug addiction and stuff. And really, it was kind of sad because there was really no resources up there.
Right.
And just about every third door we knocked on, people had like people directly in their family that were, affected by that, and it was affecting the whole family. So
now listen, real quick, while we have you on here, because there might be some people on here that don't really know what's going on. Why don't you give us just a rundown on what the entire program's about, if you can, in about 30 seconds, along with how they can get hold of you or what they can do maybe in their community, so you can kind of maybe steer them in the right direction, because you can't be everywhere at one time.
All right, I'll try to do it in 30 seconds.
No, you can do it.
All right, ready, set, go. It's called Neighbors in Action, West Virginia. We're on Facebook. What we do is we go door to door, and we hand out flyers on resources where people can get their loved ones, friends, family members, anyone that you got a friend that has a friend that's struggling with addiction and they're ready to get help. They could get immediate resources through the 844 helpline in West Virginia, get them in detox, whether they have insurance or not, within the first 6-8 hours that day, and also provide transportation for them, and also like long-term recovery services like Celebrate Recovery and NAs and AAs the thing is, when people are empowered with information, they're able to, they're more likely to get help. Recovery works better in a community than it does in isolation. So if you want to get involved, just go to Neighbors in Action, West Virginia. We do walks in Harrison County too every other Friday. So we have a Facebook page there too, Neighbors in Action, Harrison County.
I'll tell you what, it's a good thing what you're doing for the mere fact of even over Bruce's parents sent him a big article out of the Japanese newspaper.
Huntington, West Virginia.
And Wayne, they're talking about Huntington, and it's this monster article and the entire thing talking about it. So it's not just, when we kind of
around the world.
And it's almost, you see this and you see the needle, and it's just like, man, and it's somebody's, I don't know what could be done actually, but what, you're just going to try to get people help so that at least they can have that shoulder to lean on to get the whole ball rolling, man. That's fantastic.
Absolutely, and when, most people who are addicted to drugs, may not be ready to get help, but once they are, they usually go to their family members or someone close to them because there's a big stigma there. And if their family members have that 844 number and can get them help, that's their first step to recovery. We talked to a guy in Kingwood yesterday that said that 844 number he called in Parkersburg saved his life. He's been a year clean now. He's got a job. He's got a family. He's got a house. And that's. My thing, I always say this, for every one person that information helps turn their lives around and away from drugs, that's one less customer for a drug dealer. You multiply that by about 200, you put some of them out of business. And that's my goal.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And just to be there for somebody to talk to, that's a lot of times that's what, you kind of get into that mess and you don't know how to get yourself out of it. And then, before long, you just, you're I don't know, man. It's a bad situation.
Yeah. It is, and it affects everything. I mean, it affects families, it affects our economy. I mean, we got all this oil and gas coming in, and people can't even pass a drug screen. And it's just it's just really it's heartbreaking. It really is. Because I mean we got good opportunities coming down the pike here. In the state economically. And I just hope that we have a clean drug-free workforce that'll be able to work those jobs.
Yeah,
because that only helps us.
Hey, listen, Wayne. In what is it? What episode is this? Is this 98 or
98?
This is 98. So next week we're off, and then we're 2 weeks after Easter. So I guess that'd be about 3 weeks from now. We're going to have our 100th episode. Now I don't know if you're going to be free or not, but we're going to have our.
Hey, I'll make time,
dude. Listen, we're going to have our big reunion party over here.
That's awesome. By then, I want a Vaughn Haggerty emoji, too. So.
Vaughn Haggerty. Vaughn Haggerty. His name is Vaughn Haggerty. And you can get tickets now at the Mountain Arena. Call 681-222-7646 to get all your monster truck action with the pins this Saturday.
Chuck, you're going to break a vein.
He's getting a little red. He asked you in here anyway.
That's D-Mac started that thing, and I tell you what, it reminds me. It kind of morphed into every time we do the Vaughn Haggerty thing. It's almost like one of those old monster truck kind of deals, and we love that stuff, man.
It is. That's the best part of the whole show is when you guys do that. I mean, I love Vaughn Haggerty to death. He's a wonderful guy.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
But when you talked about the Duggar dance, I was gonna ask you is Vaughn performing at the Duggar dance?
April 28th in Buchanan, ladies and gentlemen, get your tickets now. You'll buy the seat, but only see the edge at the Duggar and see Vaughn Haggerty live. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster 681-222-7646.
Oh man! Next time he sees me, he's gonna hit me between the eyes.
Yeah, he will. But you know what? But I'm telling you, with a name like Vaughn Haggerty, I'm telling you, he should either play for Van Halen. He sounds like he should be some kind of a rock star. Either that, or like one of these Russian guys that own a strip club, or you know what I mean, or a Viking. It's like one of those cool names that I'm not fortunate enough to have. Chuck Rogan, big deal. Vaughn Haggerty. Now that guy could do some action with just a name like that.
Actually, sounds more like a martial arts TV star.
Oh. Listen, Jean-Claude Vaughn Haggerty. Yeah. Listen, I can see that now.
There you go.
I can see that. Maybe he can do a parody commercial with us. We can stick him out there with Bruce and have him beat Bruce up.
No, he needs to challenge against the Chuck Norris.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good. Anyway, Wayne, thanks for talking to us, brother. Thanks for tuning in tonight.
Hey, man, anytime.
Right on,
you guys take
man.
it easy.
Right on. Hey, Eric McGuire, what is happening, baby? We could have Eric McGuire in here. That would be fun if he would do it. Listen, it's a mess, though, Eric. I'll tell you right now, it's a mess.
Did you see what AJ said there earlier? He said when we were calling Wayne Worth, He said his wife heard the phone ringing and went and checked to see it because she thought it was
God
hers.
love her. God love her. God love her. Okay, what we're going to do now, we're going to have we started this segment last week. It's called Thoughts with Chad Puccio, and he comes up with whatever it might be, the topic of conversation, whatever's floating around in his mind for the 6 days leading up to Sunday. Which, by the way,
40 minutes before the show,
or that. Speaking of that, we're going to start running into daylight time, where it's a little bit nicer on Sundays, and we have things to do on Sundays. Namely, I'll probably be stuck at Cheat Lake. So we might.
Stuck.
Stuck. Michelle went inside, right? Oh no, she didn't.
Nope, she's hiding back there.
I'm just
still.
joking. So we might be mixing up the schedule a little bit, just because we know when it starts getting dark at 9 or 9:30, the last thing you're going to be doing is sitting on your phone. It's easy to do that when it's dark outside. Actually it's not that easy when it's dark outside.
I think everyone should come to Cheat Lake, and we can do it from
We can
Cheat
do a
Lake
live
on the
show
boat.
from
All of
Cheat
us.
Lake
I'm
on the pontoon
I know it's my
boat.
mom's
Everybody
boat, but I'm
that
inviting everyone. Me.
Everybody that listens to Rogan Radio is invited. That's
Right.
a great thought,
There you
Megan.
go.
No, we could do it from the lake.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, this week, the latest episode of Thoughts with Chad Puccio. Puccio. As soon as the music plays, Puccio from Mononga. Why isn't this playing Chad Puccio?
I saw a group of men and women today. A group that 30 to 40 years ago would have caused people to grab their children's hand and pull them close. People would have closed windows, pulled down blinds, and locked doors. This group of people were bikers. As time has passed, the stereotype of a biker has changed. Bikers are now a part of this country's greatest charity organization. Not for any one particular goal, but for many of its country's needs. Bikers organize rides for things like cancer research, funding to help families with hospital expenses, or even help build a new home for people that lost everything to some type of disaster. They have become escorts and barricades to protect families bringing their soldiers home for the last time. Bikers are one of the greatest assets of our country. And it's for this reason that I ask everyone to be mindful of their surroundings while they're on the road, as the riding season has begun in our area. I understand that accidents do happen, but they would happen a lot less if we paid more attention to the piece of heavy machinery that we are driving, and not the cell phone to our ear or the song that's playing on the radio. It might just be your family that they ride to raise money for next.
Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, Thoughts with Chad Puccio. Mononga, pepperoni rolls, Demon's Market sausages. I like those, man. I really like those.
It's just a different way to try to get something out there. Listen, pay attention to what you're doing.
Awareness.
But you know what? Didn't it seem like last year there were more than like a higher number than usual of people getting hurt on motorcycles?
It seemed more severe.
Now, when do you guys are bike? Ryan, do you ride motorcycles?
No, never been on one.
Never have been in your life. Now, here's the thing that I want to know. When do you start getting on a bike around here? Because the berms are bad, the potholes are bad. I mean, you don't even know from one day to the next if there's a rainstorm or there's going to be gravel washed out in the middle of the road.
Leaves in the road are bad, too.
Yeah, or grass clippings.
Grass clippings is one of the worst things that we have to deal with, especially at the beginning of spring.
Yep.
Because nobody seems to realize that when you cut your grass and you don't want that grass in your yard and you throw it out there in the road, hey, bikes aren't the only ones that are in danger. You get some of these kids out here talking on their cell phone, singing along to the damn music on the radio, not paying attention. Next thing you know, they're sliding on the grass. So it's not just bikers that need to pay attention to the surroundings and stuff.
Right.
You know, everybody just needs to start watching more and more what they're doing.
I'm reading some of the comments here, and I see D-Max on there. Kathy writes, are you related somehow to Von Haggerty?
Yeah, I'm going to mess it all up, though.
Are ya?
Betty Ann. Von's wife is my mom's cousin, probably.
Okay. So you're somehow got some kind of connection. To Von Haggerty. right.
I don't think it's in the blood, so.
Well, you know. But you know what? I never
West
thought
Virginia, it's all relative.
Derek was saying something about getting Vaughn in here for the 100th episode, which we should. That would be fantastic.
He'll probably do it.
I think so. We've been trying. Listen, we've been talking.
He's a busy man.
Listen, we've been talking that guy up for what? 2 years now, probably.
Yeah. Whenever I see him at McDonald's, he's always saying, "I got to work them nights," and
well,
stuff like that. So
what's funny is everybody that listens from around the world say Ottawa like last week, or Belarus, or it could be somebody out in Paris or the UK.
They don't believe he exists.
They're like, who is this? Who is this guy? And because you guys keep talking about him, I just like saying his name. Yeah. I mean, he's a great guy, but I love saying his name. Anyway, the marketing director, as the awkward silence goes, the marketing director, Erica, she is in charge of. She's in charge of what? The Instagram. Snapchat, also in Grindr,
personal, and
Tinder. When did Michelle?
Tinder.
Yeah, that's right.
Grindr,
Grindr,
FarmersOnly.com.
Those are
Christian
dating
Mingle.
websites.
We didn't know.
Well, the only reason I say that is because when I walk in here, I was getting ready for the show, and I'm outside talking to Michelle, and I'm saying, okay, we're going to go ahead and do this. Chad and I, we were out there looking at Megan's car. And I come in, and all I hear is this conversation between the sisters, Megan and Erica. And they're talking about dating guys. And I'm like, nobody dates anybody. Well, nobody, any relationship, any guy, period. Awkward silence.
So you're saying I need to wear a nun costume from now on?
Well, you know what? Tell it. Well, yeah.
Or pick up chicks.
Oh, yeah.
That reminds me. I was actually walking through the store the other day, and people will talk out loud, and they don't care who's here and what.
Not anymore, yeah.
And I'm just walking by, and there's these 3 girls talking, older ladies, and not older, but middle-aged. And the one goes, she's talking, and she goes, yeah, I really didn't see it going anywhere. We were just like long-distance bed buddies. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's a new one.
That's how you get bed bugs.
Hey, listen, let me tell you what happened to me, and then we're going to get to this Instagram
I like
thing.
it.
So you can kind of follow us on all these different
the
social.
best sex you will ever have.
And you can follow all these. So we're up there at the mall on Friday because, like Erica mentioned earlier, they're going to Disney next week. So anyhow, Mia doesn't have any clothes because she's in these growth spurt stages of her life. So everything that she had last year is outgrown.
Mine.
Basically, yeah. But
and mine.
No.
So we go into the mall, which, you know what? I would have much rather, once it started, I was looking for a bus to jump in front of because for whatever reason, it's like going into every store and you have to look at everything that they sell, every single piece. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So anyway, they go down, and Erica went to go get her nails done. The other, Michelle and Mia, they were floating around the mall or whatever. So I went down, was looking at hard drives, guy stuff. You know what I mean? I was checking out the bras at Victoria's Secret, stuff like that.
Guy stuff,
gross.
Yeah.
Guy stuff.
Yeah.
Things the guys are interested in.
So listen to this. It's surprisingly, I'm not in jail right now or on the Harrison County rant room, and I'll tell you why. Because Michelle said, okay, we're up at this Rogue 21 place. I was like, okay, I don't even know what Rogue 21 is.
Rude 21.
Rude 21.
No,
See?
Rogue
He doesn't know what it is.
something from Star Wars. Stop bringing everything from Star Wars.
Okay.
It is Rue.
Okay.
Not Rogue.
I'm being real. Okay, so anyway, so I walk into the room, and Mia has this red shirt on, and I see some chick in the back and behind these clothes looking at stuff with a red shirt, and then I see, honest to God, Erica's twin. From about 50 feet from a 50-year-old with bifocals, right? So I go up. Now, listen, she's looking for clothes like this, okay? This is Erica right here, okay? What do I think it is? And I go up, and I'm leaning. I just lean up on the thing playing on my phone, not even looking. And I'm sitting here making small talk. I'm like, hey, so what's going on? You doing all right? Blah, blah, blah. What's happening? How's school? And then I say, well, where's your mom at? And she turns around and she goes, excuse me? And I'm like, whoa! Excuse me, because I thought you were somebody else. All right? She's like 15 years old, something like that. So then I'm like, okay, I'm going to get the hell out of here real fast because she was in the corner of this Rogue 21 place, and I'm sitting here, some 50-year-old guy that she has no idea playing on his phone. You know what I mean?
Whispering behind her back.
like we met on Craigslist or something. So then this even gets
Farmers
better.
only.
This is where it gets really bad. So I split, and earlier I had a Coke there from that Annie M's place. Is that right?
Annie
Ann's place. Yeah. So then I just go down to the bathroom. I get my free samples there from there was somebody that one at the place that she was handing out chicken or something like that. I was like, yeah, I'll try that.
Oh yeah,
That's
the
cool.
Chinese place.
Yeah. So I go in there and I go to use the restroom. I had to pee. That's when I realized that Chuck's been walking around the mall for 2 hours with my zipper down. So not only, okay, this is no lie. This is no lie, dude. I'm sitting there going up to some chick that I thought was Erica, which would have been bad enough. But I'm sitting here going, hey, what's going on? She doesn't know who I am. I'm walking around the mall, and then I go down and I'm walking all over showing everybody the merchandise for the most part. Listen, I'm surprised I'm not arrested or on the Harrison County rant room right now.
Probably were.
And I'm a little bit disappointed.
You didn't say, who's your daddy?
Yeah, that would have been better.
So did you make up that story once you found out she was 15, or?
No, listen. I swear to God, I was like, the first thing I did was like, Michelle, you're not gonna believe this. I need to get the hell out of this mall right now because I'm getting chased. I know by security cameras. I guarantee you. What's on, Donnie Everett? What's happening, brother? Okay, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and real quick. Let's get D-Mac. Let's go ahead and get D-Mac on the phone. D-Mac, he works for CWA right now. There's as you know, if you live in West Virginia, a big deal going on between CWA and Frontier, which is basically the entire thing is that it's not so much the strike. The strike isn't necessarily so much involved with the compensation package as much as it is they just want to get 100% security. Frontier is down to, I think, 85%. So we're going to see what the latest is on that because you can see this stuff all over. What's up, D-Mac?
No.
That don't sound
just
good.
Got home here just shortly ago.
Listen, man, you are a tired cat. That's all you do anymore. You're just always on the road, it seems.
You better believe it, man. Day 22, the strike.
Day 20. It's been 22 days already, for crying out loud.
Today's his 22nd day. But
we have progress. It sounds like
we have some progress. The company has met with us last few days, and I heard that, Jimmy. And I love it though. That's good stuff.
That is really good.
But anyway, we do have some movement. With what's going on. What, Kennedy?
Kennedy being
what is it?
D-Mac's daughter. For those standing by at home.
Honey, I don't have your Mountain Dew.
Give her some nap time, Derek. Give her some nap.
Mountain Dew. My kids are drinking Mountain Dew. It's 10 till 8. That's great.
Somebody's going to be up all night.
Yeah, probably. That's all right.
Ain't going to be mommy.
No, it's not. Anyway, day 22, making some progress. It appears I'm optimistic that we will have an agreement soon. Which in that agreement, of course, is going to have to secure West Virginia jobs. So right. I mean that's our whole thing. So the whole fight over this last 22 days has been network improvements. And dedication of West Virginia employees instead of out-of-state contractors. And I don't know. I can tell you this: we run those scabs to death.
Oh yes, you most certainly do.
Where we're at. Hey, listen, I know four of them. I know their names, where they're from. I know a lot about them. I talked to one's mom on the phone the other night.
Oh my God! I'm gonna tell your mommy.
Yeah,
what did they have? Have you actually talked to them in a non?
Yeah.
And are they just like, my God, you guys are killing me?
Yeah.
That's what I was curious.
They don't want to be here anymore.
What those guys say back.
Yeah. Now, how is that when you go out on the road, like with the, and then we'll get back to this, and there's probably certain things you want to talk about, maybe there's certain things you just don't know, but I mean it's not like there's portrayal I see in certain news outlets that it's this confrontation as like a physical confrontation. Listen, you're not doing that at all. I saw one video where somebody was trying to actually help the guy. Basically base his ladder a little bit, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
secure
so
his ladder.
Kill himself.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not. You're not obviously going to help them do your job, but at the same time, you have to. You're
not actually going to let them get out there and get hurt either.
No. We don't want anybody to get hurt, and we've told them that several times. I mean, there's a lot of stuff they've done dangerous, man. I mean, it's crazy, and a couple of them. Well, I can tell you this: 60. I think it was 69 of them in the state are gone for sure.
Oh wow.
Some of them got released. Because they obviously aren't doing anything, and the other ones either had major safety violations or a couple of them gotten hurt, and we don't want that. I mean, we're not hurting them; they're hurting themselves because they don't have the tools and the equipment that are just not experienced. to be out there doing the job. I mean, that's what it boils down to. But the video that you saw, I know exactly what you're talking about. And that was around the Salem area, and I believe. And they actually were helping that guy out because they were really concerned about his safety. And he's lucky that other pole was beside it.
Oh, he'd have been done.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's crazy. But we've had, I've had discussions with them. And some of them understand why, a lot of them didn't have a clue what they were getting into. Some of them understand what we're doing. Some of them don't care. I mean, there's been some of them in Fairmont that has actually went and knocked door to door on at customers' houses saying they were there to collect money.
I've heard something like that too. I heard some weird stuff going on with those guys. Or I mean, I don't want to say or maybe it's not those guys. Maybe there's some people coming in now because this strike's going on. They know you have these contractors coming in and they're posing because you never know. You can't trust anybody anymore. It doesn't seem.
No, you don't know. I mean, and these guys, they're not from around here. Most of them are from California. The ones up north anyway are from California and Georgia. They don't care what's going on. I mean, it's obvious. We've seen them destroy. That's the other thing. The media has painted this picture where we are vandalism and all this stuff. That is 100% not true. Any outage that has occurred is because no one's there. Our skilled labor isn't there to keep the network up and running, number one. And then number two, these guys, they've broken all kinds of stuff. And, I can't say that some of it's not intentional because, I mean, it's pretty obvious, but we've got them all on video.
Right.
They video us, we video them. The court injunction was just that's a pretty standard procedure. It has been crazy, but I will tell you this, all 1,400 strong, and everybody's still out, and every day there's more motivation,
Well, that's fantastic, and you know what? Hopefully this thing will be resolve itself. Like the feeling that maybe in the next couple of days or so. Hopefully.
Yeah. Absolutely. So when we get that, then we're going to be working like crazy to catch up, and we've apologized to customers, and the customers have been tremendous because every with the exception of 3 or 4. Everybody's been supportive. We go to their house, tell them what they're doing, and we take their phone number down and we tell them as soon as we're back to work, we will make you a priority, and they know that, and they ask the scab workers to leave, and and I mean it's been great up here anyway. That's in the north.
Right.
I don't know what's going on in the south, but that's what's going on up here.
Right.
That's what I was going to ask you. I was wondering, if you have any way of knowing, like how many customers Frontier has lost. Or anything like that. But I know
we
one.
don't. Well, I know a couple as well. And Darren, I get you. I mean, and we've talked about that before. Where you're at, it's just that you are a prime example of what we're fighting for.
Exactly.
We want the network upgrades. So, and I think you're going to see something happen with that. I can tell you this, and a lot of people don't like him, and I get why, but Senator Manchin has been absolutely tremendous through this whole thing, and to help get the negotiations moving and everything. In all honesty, since he has stepped in, things have really started to pick up, and I'm thankful for that, and I know that
right.
that all of our members are thankful for that, even though we may not agree with his political views 100%. He has been there to help save West Virginia jobs, and that's important.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. That's awesome, dude. Well, hopefully this thing will be, like you said, I mean, we're not going to have a show next week, but maybe listen, 2 weeks from now, if this is still going on, shoo, I'm going to have to,
If it's still going on, I'll be back. I'm coming back not next week, but the week after next anyway. Don't worry about that.
Well, listen, I mean,
we wish y'all luck.
Yeah, man. That's just hope everything works out, which I'm hoping it does. It can't go. It literally can't go on.
Yeah, there's got to be a breaking point.
There has to be. Somebody's going to stop something.
Right.
Yep, it's coming.
All right, brother. Good deal, ladies and gentlemen. D-Mac on the phone.
Yeah,
man.
Later.
I tell you what, how scary would that be if you were fighting for your job and you just didn't know you were going to have one, and you had to do the strikes? It's like the whole, with the mines years ago. Relatively, we're pretty safe. Here at Rogan Radio for now. The lights are on.
I got laid off before for 8 months. It's not fun.
It wouldn't be
it's
fun
for a minute, but then
But then you're almost when the bills start stacking up and everything else. Because
maybe you need to put solar panels on top of this building.
Solar panels.
That'd be cool.
Well, that's something that you've been looking into Well, periodically.
The Teslas, the Teslas. But how is that? Because you know what? If you're in a, like, let's say like I don't even know how much you want to talk about it, but say like the business, I mean, it kind of shifts, it kind of goes here and there, and you just really never know what's going to happen. Really?
No, you don't. I worked in the oil field for 2 years, and they were just, I mean, it was great, but all of a sudden, one evening, they're like, don't come back after tonight.
And you're done, you know what I mean?
Simple.
And you have your family at home and everything else, and you're like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, it was that quick, too. They're like, you got a meeting with Mark in the morning. Good job.
That's nuts.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Don't come back
I've been
after
laid
today.
off from Marion County Jail for the past 17 years now.
Well,
come back.
he got laid off and never got the return notice, huh? Even though they hired everybody afterwards. Listen, have you heard about this deal with the Russians? And now it's not so much. I mean, the Russians are still there. It's like Facebook with Donald Trump being elected and Cambridge Analytica. Have you heard this? Where they went through in Cambridge, what they did was, and they're like a professional service. They go and they get metadata out of all kind of social stuff. Be it mostly Facebook, but you can do it on Twitter and everything else. Everybody puts their jazz all over the Facebook, so that's probably the easiest. Then they. Yeah, they're jazz. So then all of a sudden they went ahead and they made these ads designed around the people that use Facebook because you get a good demographic that way. So then now all of a sudden they're coming back and saying that that's against Facebook rules and somehow that influenced the election because when you go into the booth, you don't really know who you're going to vote for. That just shows you. The thing that I find crazy about the entire thing, they are saying that you are more influenced by what you see on the internet than anything, which is the same reason I don't believe the news or anything else. They're telling me I should believe you and not you, but yet you're doing the same damn thing. You're just pissed off that you didn't have somebody, that you weren't able to influence anybody. Yeah. But here is the crazy part. Here's the creepy part. The stuff with Facebook, you get on Facebook, I don't read those legal agreements. Okay, big deal. That's with every single thing. They can use your pictures. Okay, and they do that. That's okay with me. I get on there knowing that, just like right now. Listen, they're probably going to take this particular show that we're doing right now and put it on a satellite for the world to see, for like 600 billion thousand people see it. And we're going to be stars tomorrow. It's obvious that that's going to happen.
I'll be doing an autograph signing tonight.
You'll be doing
about
it.
8 o'clock.
It's going to be Ryan, John Cena, The Undertaker, and Chad Puccio, and they're going to be at the Meadowbrook Mall at like some kind of Disney thing that they're going to bring in, like some kind of Frozen deal. And you guys are going to be signing all kinds.
Cena.
Dun, 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 dun. We were watching WWE the other night.
Well,
But anyway,
right now you see ads on Facebook for stuff you looked up on the internet.
Yeah.
Wait until you see ads on Facebook for things you just talked about.
well, now see, now that's the crazy thing because back in and that is nuts. It's funny Ryan says that because if you don't play on the internet a lot, you will still see ads on Facebook. And that's what started like in the late 2015 into 2016. People were like, well, how am I seeing? I mean, this one guy in particular, I don't have his name, but he was talking about how do they know? So that's when the big rumor started about the Facebook, when you give it the permissions on your app, that they're listening to your phone calls and they're reading your texts and all that. Facebook came out and said there's no way we could even do that if we wanted to because it would be so much.
No one read the small print.
Nobody read the small print because what you can do right now, and I encourage you to do this, so you realize that this stuff is real. And you can do it, and you will see every phone call you've made to somebody, not on Messenger, but on your phone. You'll see your texts. You'll see stuff through Messenger. This is bizarre. Go to Facebook on a computer. You have to do that on the computer. Then if you go to Facebook like I'm doing right now, you're going to see this little caret at the very top. Like you're going to see the question mark.
You want me to put a camera on that?
If you want to. Yeah, if you want to. Now, listen, and this is the scary thing, and I'm not downgrading Facebook, but I'm just saying this is how the world works, and just to show you, Darren just knocking shit over all over the place, isn't he?
He just teared it up. Man.
Yeah. But I'm going to show you this. Okay? So then you go on your Facebook. We got my Facebook up here. Okay, over here on this general area, you're going to see this little caret. Then you're going to go under your settings, your general settings, which is down at the bottom there. Click on app thing. Then you're going to go to, where is it now? You want to download a copy of your Facebook data right here. Okay, it's going to be right there. Under general, I'm going to download. I don't know if I can do it.
Down on the bottom there.
So then you're going to see what's included. Now, this is what's going to be included. Now, I'm not going to do it on my own because I don't want you seeing all the naked pics I send Jimmy. But what you're going to see, it'll tell you right here, post photos and videos that you shared, your messages and chat conversations, info from the About section of your profile, and the all-important and more. What could it be? Activity log, your Facebook, your Facebook account. You go through there. It'll tell you addresses, topics, everything that birthdays, everything, connections, credit cards. If you've made a purchase on Facebook and have given your credit card information. They know date of birth, deleted friends, education, emails, events, family, gender. Everything that you have ever done in your life is now on Facebook, and they track, and it's right there. It's in black and white. They're not trying to hide it. You just don't know it's there. Now listen, bizarre. Do it. Go to the upper right-hand corner. Look for that little caret next to the question mark. Hit settings. Right there, it's going to come up general. At the very bottom of that, you'll say download my activity. Download it, and you'll be amazed by what somebody knows about you. But you don't hear about that. You hear more about this Columbia Analytica that used all this information, and they did it legally because they just went and scoured. They do mining, those fusion centers. They do that kind of stuff all the time just to try to find terrorists and things. Yeah. I don't have a problem with that. Not necessarily, but maybe I do sometimes because they kind of get out of hand. But that's bizarre. But check it out and then think about it.
Donnie says, yeah, because you can't go wrong at all putting Chuck's Facebook on live.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. But it's kind of a neat little deal there. The last thing we're going to talk about, and this is something you need to do, and we're going to do it. I'm going to put this link up right now. There is a mission, a satellite that's going to be shot to the sun, and everyone knows that I'm just this big satellite Saturn, SpaceX, Saturn V, NASA dude. I love this stuff. Anyway, they're going to, I'm going to put it right here so I can't do two things at once, not like I used to anyway. Go ahead. I just put an address up. It's basically, it's called the Parker Solar Probe. You send your name to the sun. Bang. God, Darren. I swear to God, I sat on that computer all day yesterday, and you know what? That thing never. There's a ghost.
You need to put like a little drill, like a little screw done through that.
Listen, we just need to get him a headset. What happened was, I don't know what's going on over there, but Darren's microphone keeps flying off the table, and I have no idea why. But this thing's called it's the satellite thing, and you can go online. You can fill out the information, because everybody already knows it anyway. Obviously, put your email in there, your name. They give you a ticket. Your name is going to be like on a micro SD card or whatever. They're going to put it in this satellite. They're going to shoot it as it goes to the sun. Now, granted, no one's ever going to see it because it's obviously going to burn up before it gets to the sun. It's unless Stephen Hawking's there, and then he's going to download it, and then all of a sudden he's going to be the Matrix or V'ger. Or HAL 2000, something like that. But anyway, go ahead and do that. It's absolutely free. NASA's doing all this kind of stuff. It's very interesting. It's called Touch the Sun. It's really cool. It's going to take 2 seconds of your time. The link's up there. And if not, it's, what is it? Parker Solar Probe. You know what? Way too long. Google Touch the Sun. That's going to be a lot easier for me to do if you're one of the international dudes that, are listening somewhere. I just want to see how long it can go. I just want to see how long silence is. Am I wearing everybody out?
No.
No, I think that's cool. We're listening.
I need to have some,
like science music.
Some one-liners.
Todd's not here tonight. He had a death in the family. Not anybody, if they were four-legged death in the family.
Which is just as bad sometimes.
Well, no, it absolutely is, and I didn't want to make light of that, but I just when I said that, I didn't want to necessarily say, somebody say, oh, man, But Yoda died. One of his dogs, Yoda, died, and Vicky and Todd, obviously they're gonna, it's part of the family, man. It's part of the family. Just like if anything would ever happen to Kesha, the most wonderful cat in the world that keeps shitting all over the floor in there for some reason, even though she has a litter box. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I wonder if
she's protesting.
You know what? Maybe she is protesting.
I really think she is because
she's
she hasn't done that in a while.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the name of the assault to the assault weapon. And I'm going to put salt in this thing. And I'm going to blast her every time I see her as she walks by. I'm going to hit her right in the can. Yeah. You think? Once again, this thing is pretty awesome.
All that's going to do is make her wipe her ass on the damn carpet.
She's already doing that, dude.
Oh, she's doing that. I had to hear about it all last week.
Listen, and I'm telling you, you know what? There's only one person in this house that does that, and it's me. Now I have competition, and I'm like, this is ridiculous, Michelle.
You're getting tired of marking your territory all over again. Aren't you?
I have to do it. And the more I do it, the more she does it. And the more she does it, and then I'm doing it, and she does it. It's ridiculous.
To the point that Kesha has a new name.
Yeah, it's Cola. It's called Poopy Butt.
Yeah.
I'm like I was like what's going on? These cats are supposed to be so finicky and they're
How
supposed
old
to be
is Kesha?
Kesha's 7.
Yeah, she's
No, so
She'll never
she's
see
the
8,
other
but I
age.
can promise you right now she's 7.
Well,
Oh,
she's
did I
been
just-
in the family for
68?
years, and
She's
Nammy
middle-aged.
still doesn't know how to spell Kesha, so it's okay.
Keisha.
Keisha. Keisha.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, Keisha. Who's that?
What's up, Rodney? What's going on, Donnie? Again, that's fantastic. Digger, what's going on, my brother? But anyway, once again, want to thank Ryan. Everything happens fast around here.
Yes,
and,
it does.
And it's almost like there's when you first come in here, we call it the fog of broadcasting. You get in here and you're just listening, and you don't really know how to throw yourself into a conversation, or like I said, everything happens so fast. It seems like.
What he's meaning is Chuck talks so much that we really can't get a word in.
I know it seems that way, doesn't it?
Well, thanks for having me. Yeah, and I said hi to TJ. I got to say hi to my mom, Pam.
Oh, yeah.
Say hi to Pam.
What's up,
My
Pam?
wife and kids are listening.
Oh,
gave them-
fantastic.
Gave them permission for the evening. So
Yeah, man. And you know what? Like I said, you need to come over more often. It's just a blast when you have time to do it. You know what I mean?
Well, my son's 10 now, and we're starting to. What do you mean it's not really for kids? What do you mean?
Oh, I see.
Well,
Yeah,
it kind of is, but
Chuck's
not
got a
really.
bad mouth.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, because sometimes you know what? I'm glad
it's not too bad. They hear a lot worse,
No.
I'm sure.
Yeah, we're not bad.
I'm actually glad that Megan just came back from L.A., so I know she's heard 10 times worse than anything. Erica, on
Since
the
she's
other
been
hand,
home, I'm sure.
Erica, on the other hand, she doesn't hear anything. I'm the perfect angel. When I walk around the house, there's like a halo going off.
Have
I
you
never
ever been to school?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But when you're around Casa La Rogan, it's all Chuck has a halo, and I don't see anything.
Well, you asked
bad.
me
It's almost
earlier-
like I float on water.
Like what me and my friends talk about when we're together.
Yeah.
Just normal guy stuff. The weather.
Yeah.
We talk about flowers.
We
talk
right.
about
like like
you know,
gardening,
how
stuff like
the
that.
water gets to the leaves from the roots. We talk about that.
It is
kind of
it is
stuff.
it's some of, it is actually.
And that's it. We always
And
we
once
talk
in a
about
while, like
science.
Chuck, he talks about This Is Us, Bachelor.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, it's just like
You never know. On
That's
this
all it
show, we'll
is.
go from Star Wars to sex dolls.
How's the Bachelor in
That
Paradise?
fast.
Oh, is it
It's
started?
not starting yet.
I don't
Oh,
know.
I
Have
hope
you,
not.
I mean,
No.
no Winter Games.
Oh,
Have
it
you
was
been to
good. It was good. Yeah,
Is
it
it
was.
over?
Yeah,
Never
it's all
watched
over
Does
with.
Zuki
Yeah.
stay on?
No,
No.
she's out.
Aw,
We cut the
She's
cord
out.
recently.
man.
Yeah.
Just last week.
There you go.
It's gone.
I
Oh,
have-
that's about the same time I did.
Well, it's hard.
Not really.
It was hard.
But you-
it was hard.
but
Was
I-
it?
It was a long conversation. I mean, it was hard over the phone. It was like,
Oh.
I want to
Oh,
cancel.
yeah.
No, how about this? No, I just want
Yeah.
to cancel.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
how
Give you
about
6
this?
months free.
We'll give you. They were going to
We'll
give
give
me
you 6 months free and a pay-per-view ticket to see Vaughn Haggerty this Saturday with the Duggar April 28th. Get your tickets now at 681-222-7646. Only $29.95. 3 installments. It's Vaughn Haggerty.
They
at
were going to
the
give me
Ellen-
$5 a month. They wanted me. They were going to let me pay $5 a month.
And we don't
Really?
need scabs.
$5
Well,
a
at
month?
least
We
you
don't
got
need
that.
scabs to do it.
When I called and
Wow.
canceled everything, I said I paid my bill.
Yeah.
And then she goes, "Is there anything else I can do for you?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "You can cancel my entire service, internet, phone, and cable." I said, "All of it, cancel it all." So they gave you that spiel. Can
Yeah.
we do this? Can we do this? And then I said, "No." I said, "So just quit asking." And then you know what she says? Okay, there's going to be a $10 disconnection fee.
Oh, you know what? How about
do you
that?
know the profanity that followed that statement?
Listen, I can only
I
imagine.
said, please send me a bill for $10. And watch what happens.
Listen,
it's coming back to you.
I'm relatively happy with Suddenlink. I mean, I cut the cable probably about 7 years ago.
Well, I was only cutting the satellite, but I mean, I have to have the internet. But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
well,
You
I'll
have
cut
to
it
have
all.
that.
You can watch anything too.
So I mean,
you know?
like, but here's the great thing about the Suddenlink, which it amazes me because the day we're in, because I get all these things from either a credit card or bank or whatever. They want to give you the e-statements, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
To get my bill from Suddenlink cost me $1.
Yeah, the paper bill.
Yeah, to get a physical.
They charge you for the paper
I do
stuff
not
now.
trust. I do not trust the stuff on or the emails and stuff. I don't
Right.
trust it because it's too easy to lose. But you know what? When I get a physical bill and I can say, look, right here it is. Right here's my receipt because I print all that stuff out.
Exactly.
I paid it. So get off
That's
my
another
ass.
thing I did. I canceled all my on all my bills. I canceled all the e-statements and everything.
Yeah.
And went back to paper bills.
Yeah.
You'll be getting a check in the mail from now on.
Well, I tell you what's funny is though, honest to goodness, I looked at that. I was like, $1 to mail me my own bill? When did they start doing that kind of garbage?
Oh, it's been a while.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
didn't know.
I'm sure it's not just Suddenlink. I'm
Right,
sure it's
right.
a lot of places that do that these days.
Oh, like Esurance, the Allstate. It's like a branch off of Allstate. and
Right.
everything. They advertise the paperless billing you get a discount for. I mean, insurances are really big at making sure you know what kind of discounts you get, and that's one of the big ones. They give you like $5 off your monthly bill to go paperless.
Dang, that's insane. That's what Kevin was just talking about. He goes, everything's expensive. He's paying $153 for cable and internet. I have
what everybody pays.
Well, I'm maxed out. I don't have anything cable. I'm maxed out on download and upload with Suddenlink, and it's $99 a month.
Yeah, I pay 90 something for.
Yeah, to max it out. Max.
My phone, my cable, and my internet through Frontier was $155 a month, and I don't have like HBO or none of that junk.
Yeah,
or any special stuff. I just
you use a lot of those third party apps. So that's what I've been doing.
I said, you know what, I can use that 100 because I can't use the internet anyway. I get on the internet, can't do anything.
Circles.
So I said, I'll tell you what, I'll take it $155 and do something else with it.
Want to say hello to John Castle. We're going to have John in here. He sent us there's a post. I'll repost that later on. He's from I think John, if I'm not mistaken, Georgia, right? Or you were down in Georgia for a while when you were on the radio, and now you're in Mannington. But anyway, great singer.
Yes.
And we're going to have him come up here and maybe Easter a couple weeks. What I'm kind of waiting for is the weather to break, so we can actually have John outside instead of rather in here, and then have like more of an outdoor setting. Because John's that good. I think it would be great to have him, in that kind of particular circumstance. So it's going to be inside, let's say 2 or 3 weeks. Let's say probably about 3 weeks. Then we'll look with the event coordinator.
Come play for the 100th show.
For the 100th show. Ooh.
Might be something.
Ooh.
Is this going to be an all-day affair now?
The 100th show?
Yeah.
Sounds like it's going to be the whole week.
Might as well be a cookout.
Go streaking!
Well, you know what?
It's going to be a lot of equipment on that pontoon boat, too.
Yeah, we could have a cookout. We could have a wine tasting. We could have John playing.
You rent a bouncy house.
As long as
bouncy house. One of those cool, one of those sliding board things.
Yeah. One concern, you have a wife in the other.
So she's on board, man.
Yeah,
she's on board.
Listen, I wear. Hey, Erica, let me tell you something. I wear the pants in this house, boy.
You wish
After
you did.
she tells him which ones.
Yeah, she just picks them out.
Right.
No, I don't do anything. Michelle tells me what to do, and I just shut my mouth. There's no joke about that. That's no joke.
When I
you can
called
give her
the other.
Free pass to the bouncy house. Like she won't have to buy a ticket.
Yeah.
See, that's a good idea. The bouncy house.
She'll probably just make sure that he keeps it for an extra day or two so they can use it. But
oh no.
I like that idea. I don't know. We'll have to talk about that. We could actually do something, but probably it's going to end up snowing because everything seems to be like a month behind now.
You never know.
What were you saying now?
When I called the other day and I said, "Hey, what are you doing? I was just going to come over and hang out with you," and he replied with, "I'm in the car. We're going to the mall." And I was like, "You're going too?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, never mind."
It was 2 hours later. I'm sitting there hitting on a 15-year-old in Rogue 21, and then go to the bathroom and find out that.
21.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this has not happened to me. This could not happen. But that was the day that I literally wanted to walk outside the mall and walk in front of a bus.
Oh, he said, "We'll be back in like a couple hours." Literally 4 hours later, I texted my mom and I said, "Are you guys home yet?" And she was like, "I'm just exhausted." And I was like, "I'll just come on Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll reschedule."
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be.
Store and you were like, "I still got it."
Yeah. It was like this. I saw her looking at me. Yeah. You had to take my picture so she could show the cops.
Yeah.
That's funny. What's up, Betty Joe?
Oh, by the way, you just got the permission slip.
Ooh, it's right there. What'd she
It'll
say?
be an all-day event.
Oh, it will be an all-day
With
event.
a
I love
heart.
my wife. She's the best ever.
It's only because you put her on the spot and she doesn't want to look like an asshole.
Yeah, she'll tell me. Yeah, I'll walk in there and she'll be like, you know what? I don't even like this thing anyway. So go ahead and knock yourself out. Don't even forget that whole joke thing about the summertime hours and being on the lake. Well, guess what? You're going to be on the lake and you're going to like it. And we're not going to have a bouncy house. And
I might just leave you at the
and I'm
lake.
going to bounce. It could be that. I'm going to bounce my fist off your face if you keep it up.
Hey, John Castle said message him on where to send you us a new CD.
Oh, John has a new CD out.
Maybe we can use his music on the show.
Absolutely, that would be fantastic too. John's he's really good. Oh, that Donnie Stonebreaker says, Chad Puccio loves sex dolls.
Yeah, you're a little late on that one. That comment was a good while back.
Oh, well, I just happened to look down.
Internet must
I can't
stop
do it.
working.
I've been looking at all this Destiny Storm stuff with the Trump and all that. What's her name? Not Destiny. Stormy Daniels.
Stormy.
Yeah. Anyway,
Destiny Storm.
I'm terrible with names. I'm terrible.
Where the hell did that come from? Destiny Storm.
Listen, Megan, if you ever
like
decide to go into the dancing business, Destiny Storm's going to be your name.
Great.
Yeah,
that sounds great.
She already
I'm
had
sure
a
Mom would
name.
approve. Oh yeah, actually I did.
Now there is-
that was my name in LA actually.
Destiny Storm.
Yeah.
That's why they came knocking on the door. We know you're in there.
Right, that's why. They were like, Destiny Storm, we know you're in there. And we know you have friends.
You know what?
The
now,
chopper was actually all a ploy. Like, it was just all of my big show. The
You know what?
chopper, like, it was shining.
and they had like the
its light in our
spotlight
room.
down and all that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Right.
See,
Only
that's,
in
how
LA.
that's how she rolls. That's how she makes her
Listen,
videos and everything.
Megan Megan cannot go anywhere and be, oblivious, or not, I won't say oblivious, anonymous. You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
Wherever Megan goes that's her domain, and everybody else has to enjoy that particular domain.
Yeah, we were sitting in a bar, and it was like noon, and we were having Taco Tuesday, and I started talking to this guy beside me, and we had a great conversation. And Sierra, the girl I went with, said, Megan, you make friends everywhere you go. You could talk to a brick wall for 3 hours. Can we just get out of this bar? And I was like, we're having a nice conversation. Like, I thought we were. She was getting annoyed, though. I thought it was great.
Phew. Well, you know what? Yeah, you came home in one piece. It's all that counts.
Right.
That's all that
I
counts.
had a blast.
Too bad the car didn't. But
Yeah, too
we
bad
gotta
I got a
work
flat
on.
tire.
Speaking of
today.
that, we have to go work on that right now.
Yeah.
Yep. Why?
I heard about that.
Mhm.
Yeah, Walking Dead's on tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Eric is a big fan of Walking Dead.
Yep.
Darren,
Yep.
still?
Yeah.
Ryan, you ever get into that?
I watched it. I think I gave up on like the 4th or 5th season.
Yeah. Have you ever watched Designated Survivor by chance?
Nope.
That's a good one.
Heard
That's a
that's
good
good.
one too. Yeah, it is.
Westworld, check it out. Remember?
Westworld. Yes, I do. I will start watching
Reminds
that
me of
one.
them
I watch
sex
a lot of
dolls.
Disney movies and like sitcoms, that come from the Disney Channel and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I'll tell you a good one. We watched it last night. March of the Penguins 2. It's on
Oh my
Hulu.
gosh.
A Disney
I've
flick.
watched Leap 3 times in the past 2 days. It's about an orphan girl that wants to become a ballerina. It's beautiful.
Is it actually a really good movie?
No.
Hey, listen. Have you seen the
got
greatest?
excited.
Have you seen The Greatest Showman yet?
Oh,
I
that's
heard
really
everybody
good.
says it's great.
Listen,
we
you haven't
watched
seen it
the
either?
other night.
It's on
Oh.
Showbox. I just haven't
Yeah,
watched
it is.
Oh,
The
it's
Greatest Showman's
amazing.
legit. Like the March of the Penguins, legit.
Oh
I
my
like
gosh.
that. We like that.
That's
But
why I
yeah,
thought he was gonna
Leap,
cry
I'll have-
watching
I'll-
March of
It's
the
on
Penguins
Netflix.
last
Check
night.
it out.
I'll have to look at that. I thought it was that guy that went on the skyscraper and was looking down and he was going to actually kind of jump. That's not Leap.
I don't think so.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff's back from L.A. We have Megan in the studios. Once again, want to thank Ryan Faber for coming in. Erica, marketing
thank you.
director's down there. D on the director's cam and everything else. Yeah, he's working his magic. Bruce, straight from Japan, baby. Yeah, give me something in Japanese, Brucey. Yeah, I love that. Whatever the hell he just said sounded sexy, boy. You have Jimmy Wiz from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Chad Puccio over from Monongah. And I want to say, Chad and Derek aren't here, but they are in spirit. Until
Todd
Oh,
and
yeah,
Derek.
you're sitting in Todd's spot. I'm sorry.
Who? Who's Todd?
I don't know. I wrote him off. On behalf of Derek and the absent Todd. Ladies and gentlemen, until the next show, which will not be Easter Sunday, it'll be the next one, which will be episode 99. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Rogan
wave down here.
Radio. Straight down, baby. Yeah.